Hey, it's Dave from CG Shortcuts. Today we're answering another question from one of our subscribers who wanted to know how to create a paint transition effect in Cinema 4D. You can get your C4D questions answered as well by becoming a CG Shortcuts member over at cgshortcuts.com or on Patreon. Now let's hop into Cinema 4D and see what we can do. So this is the clip that Amit sent us for Google Password Manager by Oddfellows Studio. And I'll leave a link to this down below so you can check out more of their work. But basically, he wanted to know how to recreate this painting effect as the balls travel through the ring here. So let's hop into Cinema 4D and see if we can make something similar. And I've already reconstructed the scene. I've got a plastic pipe and some spheres rolling along, and they slow down a bit as they reach the center of the screen because that's where they're going to be painted. Then we've got our ring, which will house our paint nozzles. And I've just modeled that using the bool object to cut some cylinders out of our main ring shape. And I've got the actual animated nozzles popping out and spraying paint onto our spheres. And I've just used a cloner for that, where I'm cloning a few tubes as nozzles, and the paint is just a cone, where I've animated the bottom radius to make it look like it's turning the paint on and off. And I've also cloned some cylinders around the bottom as struts to make it look like it's connected to the pipe. And finally, I've got a colored ring around the outside of this that just rotates around and changes color, similar to the example. And I'll leave a link down below to where you can grab this setup as well. So let's see how we can paint these spheres and transition from one color to the next as they roll through here. So I'll switch to my Redshift layout here and fire off a render. And we've got our gray ball rolling through, but not yet changing color. And the nozzles are spraying green, so we need to paint it green as well. So let's do that. I'll open our material manager here, where we can find that gray material which is currently applied to the sphere. And you can see it just has a gray base color. So to get it to turn green as it rolls through, let's hold Control and drag out a duplicate of our material. And we're going to make this one green. And I'll just sample that same green color from the outer ring here. And if we plug that into the surface, it's now fully green. So we just need to transition from the gray material to the green material as it goes through here. So I'll move this out of the way for a second and find that particular sphere in our scene, which is this guy here. And we're going to create a mask to isolate the front and back of the sphere. So I'll hit Shift-C to bring up the commander, and we'll add a vertex map, which applies a new tag to our sphere. And inside there, we're going to use fields to mask the object off. And we just need a simple linear mask right in the center of the ring. So we'll add a linear field, and that's added as a child of our object by default, but we don't want it moving along with the sphere. So we'll take that out of there, and we'll make sure we reset the coordinates. So our linear field is right in the center of our scene. And if I just change views for a second, we can visualize that linear transition, which is currently happening between these two planes. But we actually want it to be a bit tighter than that, so the transition line is right in the center of the ring. So we can grab this and scale it in, or to be more precise, we can grab the linear field, and under field, we can set the distance manually. So I'll drop that down to 0.5 centimeters. And if we zoom in here, you can see that transition line is right in the center of the ring. And that this side of our sphere is red, and this side is yellow. So we've successfully isolated each side, and we have our mask that we can use to go from one material to the next as it passes through. And just so that's super clear, we'll go back to the camera view. And as we play that through, we go from the red state to the yellow state, or inactive to active. So now we can pipe this into our material. So I'll bring back the node editor, and we need to blend these two materials together, for which we can use a material blender. And that first needs a base material, which is going to be the gray material because our sphere starts off as gray. So I'll plug that one into here, and it'll transition to the green material. So I'll plug that in as layer 1. And then we'll plug our material blender into the surface. And now we're just seeing the gray base material, but we can switch from one material to the next inside here by changing the value of the blend color. So if we make this 100%, we now switch to that green material. And if we choose a mid value, we get a blend of those two materials, which in this case is a desaturated green color. but we can also drive this with our vertex map and use the mask we created with our linear field. So we'll need a vertex attribute node for that. And I'll just move this to the side so we can bring our vertex map into here. So I'll grab that guy and drag that in as the attribute name. And now we can use this as the blend color of our material blender. So that goes in here. And if we move this out of the way, our sphere now goes from the gray material before it reaches the ring and transitions to the green material as it travels through. And you can see that's transitioning right on cue as the paint is being sprayed onto it. And when it's completely passed through, it's become completely green. And I've just gone and done the exact same thing to each sphere, giving us this effect. And hopefully that's answered your question, Amit. You can grab the render ready project file for this from our website at the link below. And if you found this video useful, feel free to leave a like or comment down there as well. And if you need a bit of extra help with Cinema 4D, please do get in touch or become a CG Shortcuts member, which gives you access to all of our premium C4D training and resources, so you can master Cinema 4D faster. Just head over to cgshortcuts.com. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.